that supported the Sega Saturn Netlink. And I have 4 out of those 5 games, as that 5th one is one of the rarest Sega Saturn games and sells regularly for well over $500, $600, or sometimes $700 on eBay. And the games that can be played on the Sega Saturn: Sega Rally Netlink Edition. All of the games have this little symbol that says Netlink Playable. All of them except for the really rare one, which adds to the problem. On top of it being extremely rare, it's hard to tell if you're getting the actual Netlink version because it's not on the case itself. Virtual On Cyber Troopers Netlink Edition. And my 2 personal favorite Netlink games, Duke Nukem 3D and Saturn Bomberman. This is the game that got me in love with Bomberman, and it's Netlink Playable. So, a lot of people dismiss the Sega Saturn, and, you know, it can do everything that modern systems can do today. You could browse the internet, play online multiplayer first-person games in co-op and versus mode. You could listen to music. You could watch movies with the addition of a video playback card. There's also accessories for the Netlink that make navigating the internet a little bit easier. It comes with a Planet Web browser, which, if you have a dial-up internet service provider that's still compatible, you can go online and use this. But keep in mind, this was made in 1997, and web standards are completely different. Almost every website now has got a little bit of Flash. There's even, you know, now they're using HTML5, and the internet standards are completely different. But there is accessories that go with the Sega Saturn Netlink. And part of the reason why I'm doing this updated, comprehensive video, and why this will be the best Netlink video you ever see, is I show off all of the hardware, and because I have all of it now. This is the 3-button Sega Saturn mouse. It's compatible with a few other games, not just the Netlink. And this is the keyboard adapter, and you can use any PS2 keyboard, like the one I have here. But the thing that's special about the keyboard that I have here is that this is the last piece of my Netlink collection, the official Sega Saturn keyboard. Which, this is a little bit bigger than most keyboards you'll see today, and it even has the Windows key. So I use this on my computer, and the last blog post on mondocool.net was actually written with this keyboard. You can tell when it was made because it still has the backwards L-shaped enter key. But I like this keyboard. I like it a lot. Not just because it's a Sega branded keyboard, but it's very clicky. It's just a very satisfying click. I hate the low profile keyboards, and this is a little bit bigger than what I'm used to, but it's very satisfying. This keyboard is great. And it says Sega. So this will probably be the keyboard that I use from now on with my computer. And it's a very, very nice keyboard. So that is the all of the Sega Saturn Netlink hardware. Have the mouse and the keyboard with the keyboard adapter. Now, you might be wondering, how does the Sega Saturn Netlink let you play online multiplayer games? Well, you're probably thinking, oh, there can't be servers, you know. Why would Hudson Soft or Sega still have servers up for the Saturn to play Saturn Bomberman? Well, they don't, and the reason that is, a lot of older people, people my age that were playing PC games in the mid to late 90s, they probably remember this. It was called direct dial. And what happens is, one modem dials directly to a second modem, and it makes a connection that way. So there's no server. It doesn't actually use the internet to connect. You're connecting through a direct phone call connection. So the only caveat to using the Sega Saturn Netlink is you have to have a standard analog telephone line. You cannot use digital. That means no Magic Jack, no Vonage. If you're paying your cable company for your telephone, it's no good. That's digital. It has something to do with the exact perfect timing and that you can only get over an analog phone line. Just the latency of sending it through, converting it to digital, sending it through your internet, and, you know, it just does not work. So, for all intents and purposes, the games that you play will be lag-free. I live in Dayton, Ohio, and I played someone in Denver, Colorado. We played Virtual On, which is a mech fighting game, and it was lag-free on a 28.8K modem, which sounds amazing, because even on a broadband connection today, playing a fighting game, you can get lagged out a lot. And that's the benefit of having the direct connection. And because it uses regular analog phone lines, this thing will work forever, so long as there's two people with Sega Saturns and analog telephone lines. So there's at least one reason to keep you from upgrading and or just scrapping a phone line altogether and going with a cell phone service. So a lot of people have asked me, "Oh, how do I play Netlink? How do I play Netlink?" And I'm like, well, you just have to have all the hardware of the games and a regular telephone line. Oh, I only have a cell phone, or oh, I only have a digital phone. Oh, shit out of luck. One of the interesting things that I've seen pop up on SaturnLeague.com, which is the website dedicated to the Sega Saturn Netlink and finding people to play Netlink matches with, is you can buy a telephone line simulator, which is basically a phone company in a box. So you plug one Saturn and Netlink into one end of the telephone line simulator, and you plug in your second Saturn and Netlink into the other end of the telephone simulator, and they will dial each other. And it's basically just a workaround for a system link, and that could potentially be cool. The only problem is telephone line simulators are very expensive. The guy that bought one at the Saturn League, he got one on eBay for I think about $80, which is kind of a fluke. You know, that was like a super deal. If you're looking on eBay to buy a telephone line simulator, expect to pay over $100, probably not any more than $200. I don't really know off the top of my head, but it's way more expensive than I would pay for that, even though I have two Saturns, two Netlinks, and two TVs in the same room, and it would be fucking cool to have a Netlink match set up locally. If you're handy with a soldering iron, you can download schematics for a telephone line simulator and put it together, but that's pretty advanced, building something out of scratch like that, and you could screw up and set your house on fire. So, things to keep in mind if you're considering telephone line simulator. Your best bet's to buy one, but it's expensive. For significantly reduced cost, you could build one, but be damn sure you know what you're doing, because, you know, you're dealing with some pretty good voltages, and, you know, if you screw up, you could have something pop in your face and start shooting fire at you. So, just a brief overview. There's 5 games that can be played on the Sega Saturn Netlink, and those games are Duke Nukem 3D, Saturn Bomberman, Sega Rally Championship Plus Netlink Edition, Daytona USA CCE Netlink Edition, and Virtual On Cyber Troopers Netlink Edition. Now, the thing to keep in mind is there's multiple versions of most of these games. Duke Nukem 3D and Saturn Bomberman, every version of those two games is Netlink compatible. So if you have a copy of Saturn Bomberman, you're good to go. If you have a copy of Duke Nukem 3D, you're good to go. The least expensive game for the Netlink is Duke Nukem 3D, and that's the first one I picked up and where I started. So I would recommend that. I got lucky and got a cheap copy of Virtual On. Now the copy of Virtual On that I have, the Netlink playable copy, comes in the standard jewel case, and this, along with Sega Rally Championship, were packaged with the Netlink itself. So if you look at the disc, it says right there, not for resale. So this was packaged in with Netlinks when they first came out to get people to, buy it. So there's the 5 pieces of software. The Daytona USA CCE Netlink edition's extremely hard to find. I can't even find an ISO or, ROM of it. And you can find Daytona USA CCE edition all day. You can find the standard version of Daytona USA. There's like 3 or 4 different versions. And it's extremely hard to find the Netlink version, and I think there's one copy of it on eBay with a buy it now of like $650. So that's the reason I have every Netlink game except that one. Like I said, you can use the Planet web browser. You can go online with this, but there's really not much you can do. There's pretty sure Flash didn't even exist in 1997. So it's extremely limited to what you can do. You could load some very basic pages, and that's about it. And, yeah. So, why should you get a Sega Saturn Netlink? Well, on top of it being one of the coolest things ever, and it being the first officially supported online for a home video game console, well, first officially supported multiplayer on a home console, it's damned cool. Being able to play Saturn Bomberman with someone from a few states over, that's amazing. This is also the only Netlink game that allows you to play with more than 2 players. You can have 2 players on each console, so you can have 4 players online, and that's also pretty dang spiffy. Now, when you fire up a game that's Netlink compatible with the Netlink in the cart slot, it will take you to a special menu that's only accessible when this cartridge is in the slot. And there's 3 options. There's the normal play, where it'll just take you to the standard menu for the game, as well as it's a little chat room. And this is the only thing you really can't access anymore. That did connect you to the internet, and it would take you to a chat room for Netlinkers, and that's where you could meet people and make matches and exchange phone numbers and set all that up. So back in the day in 1997, up until the end of the Netlink's official support, you could log on, go online to a chat room, find other players, exchange phone numbers, and then disconnect from the internet, dial each other, and play a Netlink match. And then the other option on that menu is Quick Match, which is where you go to set up the game. And you either go in there and go into wait mode and wait for someone to dial you, at which point the Netlink will answer the call and it will make a direct connection and take you into the game. Now, the biggest setback, besides the fact that you need analog phone line, is it will charge you long distance, because it's basically just making a telephone call. So that's something else you have to take into account. I've never actually dialed anyone. My friend on YouTube, Dragon Hunter G, he's always dialed me because he's a hell of a guy. And yeah, that's the one caveat. I can't afford to make long distance calls for hours on end, but if you have friends that live in the same area code as you, then you can play, you know, all day long and you won't be charged for it. So that's very cool if you and a buddy are Sega enthusiasts. And I think that just about covers every aspect. After a match ends, you have the option while you're still connected to each other to go to a text-based chat room, which is where this bad boy comes in handy. On top of just general web browsing. I believe during Duke Nukem, there's a restriction to where you cannot have the keyboard adapter plugged in. It won't let you play the game. It'll give you a message saying to unplug this. So that's kind of a hassle. But after the game's ended, I assume you can plug this back in because it does have the chat option. And, yeah, that just about covers everything hardware-wise and general information-wise. Now that that's all out of the way, we are going to cut away to some recorded gameplay footage. I'm going to show actual online Netlink footage of all 4 of the Netlink games I have. Luckily, Dragon Hunter G also has all 4 of the same Netlink games, so I'll be able to record a couple matches with him. And I will also go through all of the menu options. You can save it to the Netlink cartridge itself, I believe, or it saves to the internal memory. I'm not sure off the top of my head. But you can add your nickname and a taunt, so you'll have a pregame taunt, and you can select from several avatars that are built onto the cart, and set your phone settings, like if you have to dial 0 before, you know, dialing out, and stuff like that. So I'll go through all the menus and show all of that. And then I will end this with online footage of Saturn Bomberman Virtual On, Sega Rally, and Duke Nukem 3D. So let's... Alright, this is how you go into the wait mode. In most of the Netlink games, when you're in wait mode, you have the option to play the game to practice, and then as soon as the other player dials you, you'll automatically connect. And I love this little song that it plays. It's very catchy. Man, you're about to see, like, the worst performance in a racing game ever. Like, I'm embarrassed to be showing this, but I don't want to re-record it. Those are your pre-game taunts. Go Speed Racer Go, and of course, Ass Butt. My guy reminds me of the Agent Smith from The Matrix. But
Sega
yeah,
Rally Championship.
I'm definitely embarrassed to be showing this footage because I do extremely poor, and I didn't care to try recording again because I'm just not good at racing games. I have zero interest in them. And since the other player is the one dialing, he gets to make all the selections.
3.
Oof, man,
2,
this is bad.
1.
I do
Go.
real bad.
Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Over jump. Easy right. 1 medium right. Easy right.
You have the ability to switch from like this first-person view to an external third-person view of the car. I do pretty freaking bad no matter how I view the game.
Easy left, easy right. Wow.
Yeah.
Very long, easy right, baby.
Now I have no idea what that voice is saying. It says very long, easy right, and then says something. I have no idea what that last thing he said was. It sounds like very long, easy right, maybe. Like, okay.
Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Wow.
Yeah, I got disoriented as fuck from trying to switch it back to the cockpit view.
Easy right. Wow. Long, medium right.
Maybe I'd do better if I had a steering wheel and gas pedal combo. I don't know. I don't like racing games.
Easy left. Easy left, easy right. Wow. Very long, easy right, baby. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not good at drifting. Ugh, what a shame.
Easy right.
But at least I'm losing to a real person and not a computer.
Easy right. Wow. Over jump. Easy right. Long, medium right. Easy right. Over jump. Easy left. Easy left, easy right. Very long, easy right, baby.
Very long, easy right, baby? I have no idea what he said. Yeah, I lost. Ugh, shameful. Man, after this, I believe we play a match of Virtual On, and a little shout out to. Actually, hold on for that for a minute. Yeah, loser, just all up in my face. Yeah, I believe we play a match of Virtual On next, and I'm going to put up an annotation and link to a video from Wipeout Guy. There's some numbers in there, and I don't know, but I'll put an annotation with a link to his video where he made kind of a strategy tutorial type video, which helped out a lot, so I don't do as piss poor in my match of Virtual On as I did. Oh, that's right, there's connection problems. Oops. There we go. The problem that I usually have when playing against Dragon Hunter G, which is his YouTube name, people will call his phone, and I believe he's got like call waiting or something, and that will screw things up. So it's generally not an issue with the Netlink, it's usually just people calling him. But big thank you to Wipeout Guy for making the tutorial video for me, and he posted that a while ago, and you know, I'd always wanted to go back and practice my virtual on skills because I knew this day would come where I'd be recording it. So I only had like maybe a half an hour of practice with this before the Netlink match, and this is the one I practiced for. I knew I'd suck at Sega Rally. I was like, as long as I do good in virtual on, I won't look like a total jackass. Because I usually do pretty piss poor in the Netlink matches. I just think Dragon Hunter G is a better video game player than I am. But so I was just hoping, as long as I do okay in virtual on.
Round 1. Get ready.
The biggest technique I took away from his video was jump canceling, and the reason why you want to do that is when you jump you automatically lock on, and then when you cancel it you fall back to the ground quickly and can pull off some moves and whoop a little ass. And I definitely did not master the technique, but I used it as well as I could. Now, if you watch Wipeout Guy's videos in virtual on, you will see him whooping some ass in this game. I think I did okay here. Nothing to brag about, but...
Round 2. Get ready.
But at least I'm the one that dealt out the robotic ass whooping. This is definitely a game that suffers from being an early 3D game where they hadn't mastered the dual analog stick, which is really what makes 3D gaming work.
Round 3. Get ready.
I don't know all the robots' names, but the one I chose is the one I prefer. I just always seem to do the best with them. And after this is quite a bit of Duke Nukem 3D. We were talking on AIM when setting up the matches and stuff, and I was originally going to try to show off both co-op and deathmatch, and he set the deathmatch to have monsters in the game, but he put them on the maximum setting, which, as we'll find out together, was a huge, terrible, horrible mistake. And it was a nightmare trying to play a deathmatch with the most powerful monsters in the game. running around, and I'm gonna go ahead and leave that in and not even try to edit that out. Yeah, and when you're the person that didn't dial, the other person always gets to make the selections. Which is fair, I guess, if they're fronting the long-distance bill. You know, they basically get to be player one. Man, this is rough. There's quite a bit of it. And then after that we have a death match with monsters turned off, which was a hell of a lot more fun. And I kept getting spawned in shitty places. Like, what am I going to do with that weapon? Probably been well over a year since I've played Duke Nukem, so had a tough time controlling it at first, and this is another just embarrassing moment of gameplay. It's kind of hard to play this game on the Saturn. Like, once you get into it, it's not that bad. Like, I've been through and beat this game on my own, and me and Dragon Hunter G played through a lot of the game in the co-op mode when I first got my Netlink. But yeah, this is bad. There's like so many of the strongest monsters. I can't find any weapons. It's like, oh great, pistol. Oh, plenty of ammo for everything. Where's the gun? What a freaking nightmare. Finally get a decent weapon and I blow my ass up with it. And I'm pretty sure Dragon Hunter G has a similar level of success. I just die a lot. Like, this is embarrassing. Not quite as embarrassing as that Sega Rally performance, but this is pretty bad. It gets a lot better when we turn the monsters off. Yeah. Ran out of ammo with the pistol, and all I got's my boot stomp. That doesn't get you far. This is just like 5,000 ways to die. I mean, look at that. I have to unload an entire fucking clip to kill the weakest enemy that's on the stage. Ugh. It's awful. It spawns you on top of monsters like every single time. Tip for anyone that ever sets up a Netlink match with Duke Nukem: do not turn the monsters on maximum difficulty. It's not a fun time. You can hear Dragon Hunter G getting his ass shot off. Maybe we should have teamed up and made a coordinated attack against the monsters. This is just terrible. Let's see what's behind this door. Oh, instant death. Excellent. I can take on those two Gatling gun monsters with my pistol and boot. Well, at least there's some bitches to look at for half a second before, you know, dying instantly. Let's see if that hole in the wall does anything for me. Nope. Cool, a shotgun, the best fucking weapon I've had this entire match. Let's see what happens. Do I die instantly? Let's see, near full health, full armor. Let's see how long I last. 2 seconds? Yep. This isn't frustrating and terrible. I expect you to leave comments, Dragon Hunter G, when you watch this video, and tell me how your experience during this was. Did you die nearly as constantly as I did? It'd be nice if the monsters didn't respawn. That'd be wonderful if the monsters didn't respawn. At least not as fast. Like 2 minutes in between spawns so that we could clear them out for a second. I definitely have more fun with this game in the co-op mode or with the monsters turn off. Yeah. First time I used the pipe bomb, so that was brilliant. I try to swim later on, because there's like some sweet weapons, but I totally forget how to move up and down in the water. Now I remember having this issue when I first played the game with the jetpack. And there's something you have to do to go up and down, and I forget and actually drown. So that's shitty. Yeah, I have no idea how I managed to make that happen. I probably should have had a refresher course on how to play Duke Nukem before attempting to record the Big Bad Netlink video. There I figured out how to look up and down, but that doesn't make you swim up and down like you would expect in a modern game. Fuck you, 1997, for not working like 2010. Yup. All I wanted was that gun. It's pretty cool that my lifeless corpse sunk to the bottom. Oh. responding to some laser blast from a monster. That was pleasant. Keep killing this pig expecting to find a shotgun like I did that one time. That one time was great when I had a shotgun and then died instantly with it. Yeah. Let's get rid of that. That was way too much. Hey, good luck. First kill of the game. And I have absolutely no recollection of the maps and where the hell I'm at. I guess I could have turned that map on, but that's always in my dang way. Problem is, he moves way too damn fast. I don't know if this is something that would be helped with the second analog stick, or what, but it just seems like he's all over the dang place. I did it again, oops.
Hail to the king, baby.
Oh yeah, the shrink gun. I managed to get a kill with it, so that's pretty sweet. So what happens is you shrink them down and then you step on them. That's where my dumbass figures out how to use the pipe bombs. Yeah, it feels like I never really got the hang of these controls. I don't know how I played all the way through this game on a Saturn, man. I mean, I love it, and this is one of my favorite games, but whew. Going back to it after having not played it for a year and trying to pick up the controls, man, it's rough.
Hail to the king, baby.
Boom.
Cool.
I like how I died and was still pumping that shotgun. That's pretty badass.
Who wants some?
Anyway, isn't this fucking awesome playing an online game on the Sega Saturn? It's freaking 2010. I recorded this, what, May 7th or something? What day? That's today. I recorded this on freaking Cinco de Mayo, I think. And, it's the freaking Sega Saturn, man. Playing online games in 2010. And I definitely saved the best for last. Yeah, I have like no familiarity with the maps at all. At least it's starting to feel like I get a little bit of control on the controls and maneuverability. This is definitely a very ancient, archaic first-person shooter. I need my dual analog sticks, or a mouse and keyboard would do. I have no idea why this game won't let you play it with the mouse or the keyboard plugged in. That's just nuts. Yeah, sorry that there's so much Duke Nukeming in this Netlink video, but this is probably the Netlink game that people spend the most time with. Because this is generally the cheapest and easiest to find Netlink game. Like, I got a complete copy of this for 15 bucks. And Saturn Bomberman's the most expensive, well, it's not the most expensive one, Daytona USA is the most expensive one, but of the ones that mere mortals can afford, Saturn Bomberman's the one that's going to cost you 30, 40, sometimes 50 bucks. And I paid 30-something for it, and am extremely happy with it. Actually, Dragon Hunter G picked it up for me, and I got a complete copy of it, man. It's freaking nuts and way totally awesome of him. He's a hell of a guy and has hooked me up with a couple of sweet deals.
Hail to the king, baby.
At least my performance in Duke Nukem wasn't as bad as that Sega Rally, man. Embarrassing.
Cool.
Macho grunting. I mean, I know I'm gonna make some sort of sound if I got shot, but I don't know if it's gonna be
Who wants some?
I don't want any of that, Duke Nukem. No thanks. Keep your macho grunting to yourself. do like the music in this game. I still think it's catchy. Even though I've been listening to that same song for like 10 minutes now, I still like it. Yeah, man, I should have spent a week. I should have spent a week preparing for this Netlink match and familiarized myself with Duke Nukem, because when I first started with all those monsters, man, I had a really hard time trying to get a hang on the controls again. Head over to mondocool.net, you can listen to my totally awesome podcast, the Mondo Coolcast, first of all. And second of all, I've made new forums. And so far, Critical Failure is the only person that's signed up, because that's the only person I've told. And the next issue or episode of the Mondo Coolcast to make the announcement. And I guess I'm also making it right now, so just in case the entirety of my audience doesn't, you know, watch every video and listen to the Mondo Coolcast. So if you're interested in that, you can go in there and ask questions. Also, check out SaturnLeague.com, because that's where I got all of my Netlink information from, and that's where you go to find other people to play Netlink games with. And fuck yes, Saturn Bomberman. This is one of my favorite Saturn games in general, and definitely my favorite Netlink game. And like, this game is just like so much cuteness, but not so much that it makes a macho tough guy like me uncomfortable. It's just like, damn, this is awesome. And I believe this is where the game gets interrupted by a phone call. Yeah, this is where it froze up and we had to restart Saturn's. And it was a real pain. Generally, the only thing that's ever fucked up a Netlink match is someone calling Dragon Hunter G's house and the call waiting screwing shit up. And you know, if I was the video editing master, I would have taken that out, but I'm not, so I didn't. Ha! Saturn Bomberman is actually the only Netlink game that supports more than 2 players. You can have 2 players on each Saturn, and that's awesome. No one's ever managed to do that. I'm pretty sure if you have 2 players on one Saturn, that the other person will get paired with a bot. I believe that's possible. And the offline mode, Saturn Bomberman, supports up to 10 players if you have 2 of the multi-taps. So this is definitely an amazing multiplayer game. And for the time, you know, this is one of the very, very first officially supported online console games. And it's fucking Bomberman, you know? I think I'm gonna tweet Hudson Entertainment and let them know I put up a video of some Netlink matches. Or maybe not, because they'll probably sue my ass off. Even though I totally love their game. And you can make little taunts. Are you scared? Sounds like the cutest little kid. Like I said, everything about Bomberman is adorable. Even though it's all about blowing shit up, you know, setting your friends on fire.
Go! Go!
see, there's only about 4 minutes left. So this is, yeah, this has been everything you really need to know about the Netlink. And online footage of all the Netlink games that are obtainable to mere mortals. Only super collectors have that rare Daytona CCE Netlink edition. Seriously, man, that shit goes for like $600 online. And I've mentioned before that I haven't even found an ISO of the game, and people have linked me ISOs, and that's just a Daytona CCE edition. There is a difference between Daytona USA CCE edition and Daytona USA CCE Netlink edition. There is a difference. That's what makes it so damned hard to find. And I believe there was, it's not on the packaging like it is with the other 4 Netlink games. It doesn't say that it's the Netlink version. You have to actually like look at the disc or something. I'm not sure. As I suck at racing games, as you saw, yeah, as you saw with that Sega Rally, I'm not really too hard pressed about it. Even if I had it, I wouldn't play it. And even if I burnt a copy, I probably would have just played it once for this video. So, the stage selection is all handled by the computer. But I love Saturn Bomberman. I'm gonna review the offline game eventually, and it's just adorable.
Now I'm mad.
As well as being amazingly fun. Like, this is just an amazing game to own. Like I said, this is the game that sparked my interest in Bomberman. Since then, I've bought several Bomberman games and have been loving the hell out of them. Little Bomberman soccer. Would have been perfect if it was on the soccer stage. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this incredibly long 1 hour in-depth Netlink mega video. If you are interested in the Netlink, you should have every bit of knowledge that you need. And if you still have any questions, head over to the SaturnLeague.com. I check the forums almost daily. And I usually, that's where I update my crap I've bought recently. And, yeah, so head over there. Again, I'd like to thank Wipeout Guy for providing the world with some tips on how to play Virtual On. I'd also like to thank Dragon Hunter G for playing these matches with me.
Blue team,